Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. My name is Dr. Conte.
I'm Kayla.
Kayla, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, good.
Nice.
All right, so Kayla,
Mm-hmm.
feel free to call me Alec.
Okay.
That's my first name.
Awesome.
So let me just get down your first and last name here. How do you spell it?
Kayla is Kayla.
And last name?
James.
Okay.
Easy.
Awesome. So right now what I want to do is just kind of gather some information about you, get to know you. Feel free
Okay.
to ask questions.
Alright.
I want to tell you that whatever you say in this session is not going to go anywhere else. It's
Okay.
completely confidential between
Good to
me and
know.
you. Yes. So I'm going to gather information about you. You're going to talk to me about what brings you in today, things like that. Probably going to go for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So if you could hang in for that duration, hopefully we can talk and get to know each other and help you out.
Sounds good.
All right. So how old are you, Kayla?
I'm 20 years old.
20 years old. Good, good. Now, are you in school?
I am. I'm a junior in college.
And how's that going so far?
It's okay. I don't really like it that much. I never really liked being in school.
Okay. Is there a reason for you disliking school?
Well, my parents always had a very strict code about school, and I just kind of, had a little rebellion about it, and now I really never really felt comfortable being in school.
High expectations, things like that.
Yeah, and I never
Okay.
felt like I was performing enough, so it just made me not really like going.
And just for clarity purposes, you are a female.
Yes.
I'm guessing, yes. Okay.
Yes, I am a female.
A lot of different gender roles these days. How's your family? Do you have any siblings, parents?
I do. I have a mother and a father, and then I have 3 older brothers, and I actually had my eldest brother. I used to have 4. He actually passed away.
The eldest brother?
The eldest brother, yeah.
So including him was the 3?
Including him would be 4, I'm sorry.
4. So 4 siblings?
4 altogether, but currently just the 3.
Okay. And how did he pass away, if you don't mind me asking?
He actually passed away from a drug overdose.
Drug. That's okay. I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you.
Do your parents get along well? Tell
Yeah.
me a little about them.
They get along very well. My dad is very strict, and my mother kind of just follows along and listens to everything that he says. So.
Okay. And your race?
Well, my father is actually he's not my real father, but
Okay.
he is what I consider my father figure.
Yeah.
He is from Asian, he comes directly from Japan.
Okay.
And then my mother is 100% Italian. She actually came from the boat. She came over here when she was 18.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. And your dad's been around your whole life since you were a
He's
child?
the only father I've known, so I call him that.
Okay. And what your parents do for an occupation, or do you have a job while you're in school too?
I do. I work at Sephora actually, and my dad is a full-time accountant for a lot of bigger businesses, so he's actually traveling a lot.
Mm.
And then my mother was a stay-at-home mom.
So what do you do at Sephora?
I am a makeup artist, so
Okay.
I put makeup on people.
And you enjoy that?
Yeah, actually I enjoy it a lot. I like doing it.
Now how's that working and balancing school, and how is that conflict?
Well, because of I really don't like school, so I tend to neglect a lot of my schoolwork, so I put more focus into my part-time job than I do at school. So I like working more than I like being at school.
Okay. Usually it's the other way around for some people.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Okay. And your living situation, are you living at school? Are you commuting?
I have my own apartment. I live by myself. It's a studio apartment in the city. It's right near my school.
And how do you feel about living by yourself?
I actually prefer living by myself. I tried doing the whole dorm with somebody else, and every time I never liked it. I liked being alone.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's quite a bit of information about yourself. Now, you said your stepfather is directly from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you incorporate any of those cultural things into your own self? Any of those beliefs? Do you practice anything that he believes? Or?
Not really. He was not like he never even had like a specific religion.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that there's anything specific. The only thing I could think of is that he was always very focused on grades.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's very culturally seen by a lot of people, that they're very focused on how you're doing well in school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, culturally, I can see how that is more focused on. Okay, well, that's good to know. Okay. Any psychological history or medical history that I should be aware of?
Nothing psychological, but I have been battling an eating disorder for the past 2 years.
Okay. So this was just around the transition into college?
Yeah, probably around then.
Okay. Okay. So, what brings you here to see me specifically today?
Specifically. Well, obviously my eating disorder is very bad, and I've been trying to figure out how I can help it. And then I've just been kind of depressed lately, very anxious about things. I feel very stressed.
Did you say the eating disorder is bothering you?
Yeah, well, I know it's bad, but I just can't seem to get rid of it.
Problems with that? Okay. And depression and anxiety as well?
Yeah, that I've been feeling for a while now, and I just want to start letting go and be happy instead of being depressed.
So is that why you kind of come see me at this point now today? Because you realize that you've been having problems lately that you can't seem to handle? Were you able to handle these problems earlier, or?
I'm very passive aggressive, so I think it's just been building up over time, and now I just kind of finally reached my breaking point where I want to get them fixed.
Okay. And how long do you say that you've been dealing with this depression and anxiety that you've been feeling?
Well, it's been for a while now. I think it kind of all started when my eldest brother died, which was a few years ago, about 4 years ago.
So that's a pretty big loss. Were you guys close?
I was pretty close with him. He was the oldest, I was the youngest, so I kind of got to know him. We were very similar, in which we both really liked our freedom, and we didn't like how we were all like put under these house rules by our parents. But I would say we got along together the most. He was very close with my mother, so I think, and I feel like we're all like my mom in that sense. Like me and him were both like my mom in that sense as well. So I think the three of us are very connected.
So the two of you kind of acted as each other's like outlets, you know, to
Mhm.
kind of express that freedom that you weren't really seeing
Yeah.
from the constrictions of, you know, your parents, the job, school.
Yeah.
Okay.
We both had an understanding of everything.
Okay. And that's when you said all the anxiety and depression started to start.
I would say that's when I started feeling more depressed, and then obviously my parents, you know, they went through the process, and I think after he.
The grieving process.
And I think afterwards, when they felt like even though my brother had passed away, they put even more strict rules on us, so it became even harder.
Yeah, interesting. How did your other siblings take the death of your brother?
They took it hard, but none of them
Sure.
were as close as I was, so I
Okay.
don't think they took it as hard as I did.
Okay. Would you say, you know, since your brother was that outlet, that person that you could kind of escape to and connect with and talk to, the absence of him, you know, created, you know, kind of this whole nowhere to go to, nowhere to talk to, and thus
Yeah.
creating this anxiety and depression?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay. How else did your brother's death affect you at all? Any other ways?
No, it was just kind of like I kind of pulled away from a lot of my friends because I didn't feel like they really understood anything I was going through, so I don't really have too many friends. He was just kind of my main person.
Okay. And again, I am just taking notes just so we can reflect back and I can have things to remember.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. If anything makes you uncomfortable or if there's anything you don't want me to write down, feel free to tell me. So you were saying that you were pulling away from your friends, and you now live alone, right? Do you think that still effects of, you know, the kind of loneliness you feel after your brother passed?
Yeah, I could say that. It definitely is, because I still don't feel like I was really able to connect with anybody as much as I did with my brother. Like, I have a boyfriend, and I don't feel like I connect with him at all. Like, he's just kind of there.
Okay. So you do have a boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about your boyfriend.
He, in a way, I guess, kind of reminds me a lot of my father. He's very, strict about how I do things, and, like, I can't go, if I were to go out, which is not that much, I wouldn't be able to hang out with, like, any boys or anything, and he likes me when I'm home at a certain time. Like, he likes knowing that I'm home alone. Like, not out.
So he likes knowing that you're alone? Okay. And how does that make you feel?
Not too great. I would think that he would want me enjoying and having fun, but that fact that he enjoys that I'm home alone, I guess that doesn't sound too good.
Sure. I mean, you're young, you know, you're in the height of college, and, you know, you want to obviously express your freedom, right? So yeah, so he's kind of like your father in the sense that
he's very strict.
he wants to kind of
Control.
hold you back in control. Okay. How long have you guys been dating for?
About a year, almost a year.
Okay. Would you describe that year as being a good year, or back and forth?
I would say it started out as a pretty good year. He was kind of like the person that I could use, that I thought I, had found to replace like a brother figure, and instead he kind of just turned around into what exactly I would go to my brother for, like my dad. So.
Okay. Would you find yourself going to your boyfriend like you went to your brother with that kind of sensitive information? Was he supportive at all of what you were going through?
Kind of at first, and then he started showing that he really didn't care too much about it, that he cared more about, like, I don't know, when I would try and talk to him, he would just kind of get angry and say that I really didn't need to be, like, upset about that. So he would just kind of brush it aside.
Okay. And you guys have been in a relationship while you're in school, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Does he go to the same school as you? Or
Yes.
He does?
Mhm.
So you guys see a lot of each other?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You often feel constricted? Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that can be tough. Navigating college relationships is a challenge for everyone. How is school going in general, to switch gears a little bit?
Not too good. Like I said, I think I'm currently failing failing my classes because I don't really like to do the work, and I really just don't like being constricted in that classroom.
Okay.
I don't like it. I'd rather just be out working.
Okay. How do you feel when you're working? When you're out working and
It makes me
doing
feel
nothing?
happy, like I'm actually doing something,
Mhm.
like in the world. Like I feel like at school I'm just doing work just to please teachers, and I don't like that.
Okay, classwork, okay. So do you think, not to put words in your mouth, but do you think, the classwork and things like that is making you feel constricted? Is that a similar feeling to how your father made you feel?
Yeah, I would say it's the same feeling.
Okay. And you did say that your father came from very culturally strict background.
Yes. Mhm.
And that's something that he's inflicting onto you?
Yes. His parents were very strict. It was like a very big thing that they had to get all A's because their grades would show and on like TVs and stuff. So it was very big for them culturally.
And you feel the need that you need to keep up with that pace?
Mhm.
Okay. And so how does that make you feel when you're a junior in college? How does that make you feel, kind of approaching, the height of it, the end?
Makes me feel like I'm like 5 years old again. Like I'm having somebody continuously direct what I'm supposed to be doing and not letting me actually have any kind of freedom.
And do you think that is affecting your schoolwork?
I would say so. I would say maybe in a way it's because I've been constricted for everything, and being in school is just an added being constricted, and it just makes me, I just get very anxious, and I just want to leave, so I just want to be free.
Okay. Have you ever felt this feeling of constriction in the past?
Just with my father, and
Okay.
then with my boyfriend when we started dating.
Okay. So in the
Just
past, it was
confused.
that pressure from your father to always,
Mhm.
get straight A's and be successful and achieve higher than everyone else.
Mhm.
Does your boyfriend have those same ideals towards school? Or?
Yes, he believes that you have to succeed in everything in order to get somewhere. So
Okay.
school is one of those.
So he's very like your father, then?
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
so. Now that I think about it.
Okay. And how was that, really affected you in college with your grades, kind of in a similar fashion? Or?
Yeah, because it added more pressure, and it added making me feel like I didn't want to do it anymore.
Of course. Of course. And you said you prefer living by yourself. That seclusion is
Yeah,
helpful.
it's like my one area of freedom that I have, that I can live by myself.
Okay. And does your boyfriend know about the eating disorder?
No.
He doesn't?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is there a reason you don't live with your boyfriend?
Well, I kind of had just chosen that I wanted to live by myself, but he also he lives in an apartment with his friends.
Okay. Now, before me, have you approached anyone in the medical field about your eating disorder, or parents, or told
No,
anyone?
nobody.
Okay. You said that started 2 years ago, around that transition into college.
Yes.
Okay. How was that transition into college for you?
I thought it was going to be easier. I thought it would be better because I thought I was going to get more freedom, and when I didn't, I think I kind of acted out in a way. And then, I guess my eating disorder was just kind of like a relief to relieve myself that I had control over something and I had freedom from something to do myself.
Okay. So you felt that the eating disorder was one thing in your life that you could kind of control. Okay. You said your father was strict about school. What about your mother? She kind of seems left out through all of this.
She follows anything that my father says. So she tries to be supportive of what we want to do, but at the same time, that's her husband. So she feels that she has to obey by it in a way. It's the only thing she's known for, besides my real father, I guess. But
So she stays at home.
Yeah, I think
she doesn't work. Seems.
I think she likes that she feels secure because he does everything for her.
Okay. So she likes kind of that security of staying home and being the kind of good wife that she used to be. Okay. Do you think that is kind of culturally backed as well?
That one I'm not sure about.
Okay. All right. But you did say your dad was strict about the grades. Was there any, not strict, but was there anything in your childhood growing up that your mother, father, kids at school, anybody that might have criticized your appearance?
My father and mother were both I think it was more my father, and then my mother just kind of backed it up that they wanted us to look and be as perfect as we could be, and I think looks was definitely one of them.
Okay.
Make sure we looked small.
So not only they wanted you to overachieve and be excellent academically, superficially they wanted you to overachieve as well.
Yes.
Okay. So how did that make you feel as a child, kind of having those pressures? Did you realize the anxiety that you were under as a child, or is it something that
I think it wasn't until I was a little bit older that I realized that I wanted to be able to be free to express how I wanted to be. When I was little, I really didn't have any understanding of what was doing. I was just, they were telling me what to do.
Okay. So now, once you kind of reached into that older realization of wanting to be more free and things like that, is that when the eating disorder kind of started, or?
They started putting more pressure as we got older because I wasn't really into sports, and I think they made me do gymnastics when I was in high school, and then when I quit in high school, and then they kept telling me that I was gonna get fat because I didn't do it anymore, and that was when I was going right into college, so that might have also triggered it.
Okay. So they were afraid, if you weren't as involved with extracurricular activities such as sport and exercise, that you were going to gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you feel when they told you that?
Very insecure. Didn't, felt bad. I didn't want to, made me feel really upset because I didn't want to obviously become fat, and I wanted to obey them, but at the same time, it was just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
upsetting that they would think that I would let that happen.
Okay. So would you say image is important to you?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Okay. So when you're talking about your eating disorder,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're saying that you felt insecure as a kid. You think that was product of your parents?
Yeah, I would say so.
Kind of focusing on that self-image.
Yes.
Okay. What about in school? Was image important in school? Was there any criticism by other kids or friends?
Not so much. I didn't hear it from them, but I mean, they would, tell me that I looked nice, and I wouldn't think so, because I would think that I was getting bigger or anything
Okay.
from not doing gymnastics.
So you would hear compliments, but kind of be in
I
denial.
would still hear my parents saying what they said about me.
Okay. Okay. So did you feel like you weren't able to accept compliments from people?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. What about your boyfriend?
In a way, yes, but I didn't always believe him when he said it.
Okay. Is that because you still had your parents in the back of your head?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And is that something you really believed when looking introspectively at yourself?
I think because it happened when I was little, I started believing it more as I kept getting older, and I kept putting it more in my head.
Pressures kept continuing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that's a lot of pressure, to be able to look perfect and, be perfect, excelling
Mm-hmm.
at an overachieving rate in school. I think it's definitely at times what parents want.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about school today, is anyone perfect?
No.
Does anyone look perfect, or does anyone get perfect grades? If it was more common,
Mm-hmm.
we would definitely know about it. But it is definitely a rarity. Okay, so let's track back a little bit. So you said the eating disorder, depression, and anxiety were some of your main issues,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the eating disorder, what kinds of realizations do you think that you've come about your eating disorder just through talking today?
That it came from stress of my parents, and that it just put me more under pressure.
The parents were definitely a big influence
Mm-hmm.
on that. Okay. And you're currently dealing with that now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then the depression and anxiety, you said, come from a couple different outlets, right? The, the job on top of the school, on top of the boyfriend, is definitely a lot to handle. Especially you're only 20 years old, believe it or not, still very young. A lot of expectations, a lot of responsibilities, too. Especially with, all of the things you're talking about with your mother and father, kind of the pressures that they're laying down on you. That is a lot to handle. Currently, I don't think we talked about this yet, your relationship with your boyfriend. How's it going right now? I know you said things started out well and are kind of going down a declining slope. Is there any causal reasons for that? Because at the beginning, you said your boyfriend was actually pretty supportive, kind of playing that role that your brother used to play before he passed, which did cause you some depression, some anxiety, it's kind of that you noted as kind of the beginning of the things that you were feeling. So you said your boyfriend was like, kind of supportive role, but that's declining now. Do you want to expand upon that a little bit more? Or?
I just think it's declining in the sense that he's been putting, I don't know if he came to his own realization that he wanted to be more strict. I don't know, and I just don't like it anymore, so I guess that's why it's declining, because we're just not getting along in that sense. But that's pretty much it.
You're just not getting along.
Okay.
Are there any specific reasons you're not getting along?
No, it's just, I think I don't want to listen to his rules anymore, and that's pretty much it.
Because you're seeing more of the fatherly like things coming from there.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't think that it helps that you are constantly around him, in school?
Yeah, because we're always together, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel constant pressures from him like that? Through the anxiety?
A little bit, yeah, I would say. He adds on to it.
Okay. Are you on any current medications right now?
No.
No. Okay. Any drug and alcohol use you want to expand upon?
No.
Okay. Was there ever an aversion to drugs because of the way that your brother passed?
No. I was just depressed. I took it out by just, not really, didn't talk to my friends anymore.
Okay. So that was your coping mechanism? Okay.
Just isolating myself.
Was kind of seclusion and stuff like that. Do you feel like, since you do live alone now and, things are tending to be declining, do you feel like you're kind of going back into that shell? Or still coping from your brother?
Probably still coping.
Because that was a pretty big loss. And that was 4 years ago, right? Besides your boyfriend in the beginning, was there any other figure that kind of took his place? Was there a friend, a teacher, role model?
Not really, no.
No one filled that void?
No one did.
Okay. Are there any other activities that you would indulge in while coping? Or was it just kind of...
Just isolating myself.
Isolation? Why do you think you would isolate yourself?
I just didn't think anybody else could understand what I was going through, so I didn't want to bother talking to them.
Did you give anyone a chance to understand you?
No, not really. No, I didn't.
Okay. So you didn't really open up to it about anybody?
No, not really.
Okay.
They knew what happened, but I didn't open up about it.
Okay. So not even your friends, parents, nobody?
No.
Just kept it all sealed in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what kind of emotions do you think are keeping you in that isolation that you would want to share today?
I don't know. I think it's just the feelings I have towards my parents and boyfriend and school. So it's just those feelings. It's nothing, not like anger or anything.
Okay, so you're not angry about it? This is just,
I mean, I'm sad about it.
just
but
sadness?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Has anyone ever tried to reach out and help you that you've pushed aside? Or-
Not since no, not really. I mean, at first my friends did, but not anymore. They stopped.
Okay. They stopped because they realized they needed your space, or
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They needed my space.
they needed your space? They didn't just stop caring about you.
No, they just,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Because it sounds like that, there are people there. You know, do you have a good relationship with the friends that you do have?
Yeah, I would say it's good.
Is this something that you would feel comfortable talking to them about?
Not yet. No.
Not yet? Okay. Okay. Just gonna check the time real quick just to make sure that we have time.
There's a clock. Oh, there's a clock over there.
Okay. I'm not sure when we started.
Got like 30 minutes. It's been like 30 minutes, I would say.
Alright. Well, I apologize a little bit for going over time.
Oh, no, I don't mind.
Um,
I had plenty. Didn't have anything to do.
Alright. Is there anything that you haven't mentioned that I should know?
No, I think I gave you everything.
Okay. Okay, well, hopefully, by talking, we could be able to get some of these thoughts and emotions out in the air and kind of start to look at the roots of some of the issues that you've been having, and obviously talking
Mm-hmm.
helps.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, Kayla, thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you
very
very much.
nice seeing
It was
you.
nice meeting you as well.
Alright.